जहां विदेश मंत्री डॉक्टर एस जयशंकर इंडिया ग्लोबल फोरम में एक पैनल चर्चा को संबोधित कर रहे हैं।
Now actually seeking out more space, offering more capabilities, exercising more influence, taking on more responsibilities. So it is definitely a very different world. It's also different because both the past and the future is equally embedded in the present. Now, if we were to speak about the return of history in this part of the world, I think a very natural example of that is India-UAE relationship. Because if you look at our ties, in fact, are ties which are defined by the monsoon, by the most basic forms of mobility when people waited for wind behind their back to take them to where they wanted to do business. And it isn't just that we have a tradition. In that tradition, there are actually centuries of comfort. That if you look at the ability of India and the UAE is not just intrinsic, it's often intuitive. There are a lot of things we don't need to say. There are times when we may occasionally have a different perspective. Even that is often expressed quite subtly between us. So when I look at the return of history and the relationships which will go forward in the coming days, I certainly would rank the India-UAE relationship very high in that. And there are many reasons. I think the two very obvious ones are one, of course, the UAE is today India's third largest trade partner. It is our second largest export market. And the second, that more Indian citizens live in UAE than in any other country abroad. So whether we are talking people or whether we are talking business, this country has a particular salience in our perspectives. Now, what has been the change in this relationship? I think we have seen on the bilateral side, actually, especially after Prime Minister Modi's visit in 2015, a visit which took place after more than 4 decades at that level, we've actually seen a veritable transformation in our ties. As I pointed out, certainly our trade and investment has gone up. But if I were again to pick a defining moment or a defining decision of that change, it would be the CECA. The fact that we were able to conclude a comprehensive economic cooperation agreement so quickly and has led to such effective results thereafter, I think speaks really volumes for the relationship. And we are now moving into new areas. Today, our discussions are about space, it's about education, it's about artificial intelligence, it's about health, it's about startups. So again, the traditional energy, trade, investments, those continue. But a new agenda is also coming into being, and to my mind, that is something that would really redefine this relationship and help it go to a higher orbit. The second aspect of this relationship today is our ability and our effort at actually expanding it to other partners with whom we have mutual comfort. Right now, to me, the obvious example of that is France. We have just this year taken our trilateral with France to a ministerial level. We certainly want to expand that. But we're also, India and UAE, doing more things together in other geographies. Africa is an example. We together have had are exploring the possibility of health cooperation in Africa. And then, if I were to sort of go a little bit broader in the canvas, I would cite to you the establishment of the I2U2 mechanism between India, Israel, UAE, and the United States as yet another example of how our changed relationship, India and UAE, is now beginning to have a broader ripple impact. The fact that it is fitting into actually transformations which are independently underway in this region and often helping to take the direction of the transformation forward. So
India Global